Welcome everyone to another episode of the Choco-Bros, where we go through and we try to get through as fast as possible all FF games. Currently we are on FF4, and I know what all our loyal listeners are thinking. You guys haven't finished Final Fantasy IV. What the heck are you guys doing here right now? Well, it's been so long since I've been able to talk to you wonderful people that I was just like, you know what, SBCat, you know what, Iron Aggro?
What?
We're going to get our butts on here and we're going to talk to these lovely people because they miss me. They miss me, just me.
What happened.
That's definitely what happened. Yep.
Just me, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, I am here, and as you know, my name is Swirls Barkley. I'm joined with my wonderful guests. They're not hosts. They're guests. Iron Aggro
Okay.
and SBCat.
That's also me.
I'm just giving you guys a hard time. These are my lovely co-hosts, Iron Aggro and SBCat. Someone say hi.
Yes. Hi. As you can tell by the title, that's definitely he's telling the truth.
So, anywho, before we get started, I want you guys to know that we are also being more active on Twitter. Then our Twitter is Choco_Bros_pod. SP has finally handed over the keys, and I have the access to this Twitter account. So I'm posting when we go live, what we're doing, and when we're doing it. So I'm trying to be on top of that. If you guys want more information out there, if you guys want me to retweet anything, just hit me up there. You can also hit us up on our email at thechocobropodcast@gmail.com. And then, of course, follow us on YouTube where you can see our recaps of everything. The Choco-Bros. Just get those.
Fan mail.
Yeah, you can send us an email. We will read it
Any
right here, right
emails
now.
will be read on.
Add the email.
I take that
anyone,
back.
Please.
I take
Any
I take
Security
that.
alert.
No.
New sign in on Windows.
No.
No holds barred. If
No.
you write it, we will read it.
Tyler Rims, no.
Tyler Ims, write your favorite words and we will read them.
But anywho, it's been a long time, guys. Has anything been going on in the world of FF? I mean, it's
I
only
will
been
read
like,
it.
what, 2 months?
Oh
Out
yeah,
loud.
not that long. Only 2 months.
What's been going on,
Has it-
Aggro?
Well,
Give us some FF
so-
news.
Wait, has it really been 2 months since we've
Yes.
recorded?
yeah,
Holy shit.
it's been way
we're
longer for that for
fucking-
Swirls.
We're
It's
dead
been
in the
longer than that
water.
for me. Yeah, it's been longer than that for me.
We're
We've been
dead in
playing
the
it
water.
for 2 months, SB.
How are we playing? This game is like 7 hours long.
Because we
What?
don't. We only stream less than 2 hours,
SB.
maybe once every other week. If
SB.
only we could stream a long time. If
I
SB,
have
only.
you literally have the attention span of a goldfish.
That's
Therefore, we
insulting to a
cannot
goldfish.
stream long enough to finish this
Well,
game.
No. So the thing is, my ears start to hurt because I have to fucking have
Then
y'all
buy
so-
a mixer.
I'm not buying a
I
mixer.
will buy you a mixer.
No.
Okay, we can
yes,
have this
nobody-
conversation. We can have this
please.
conversation off.
Please,
Let's-
this is
let's just
annoying
go-
to me.
Let's just
This
go
is-
through the
I'm
FF
buying it
news and
for
we can
me.
have this conversation at another date. Come on, guys. Let's keep
don't
it.
know.
Let's keep it
I'm
cordial for our
calling.
listeners. The come on. The Choco-Bros cannot
No,
fall apart
they
on a
need
podcast.
to see the behind the scenes.
The
They need to
Choco-Bros
see that
cannot
mom and
fall
dad,
apart on
Mom and dad
the
are trying
freaking
their
pod.
best to keep the marriage together, but sometimes it's the kid's fault.
Is Swirls the kid?
Apparently, I'm
Swirls
the kid,
is the kid.
Oh,
You're the
wow.
reason we're getting a divorce.
and I'm the
Swirls.
oldest one here.
True.
Anywho, all right, Aggro, hit us
Anyway.
with some FF
Final
news. Come on.
Fantasy news. It's been a while. Things I have not listed in the docket. We're not going to talk about.
You don't
There's
love me
things
anymore.
like original tracks. Wow. Okay, SP. There's original new versions of tracks of songs have come out. They put out covers. There's a bunch of interviews. Nothing important was said in. Yada yada. There are a bunch of new Dissidia Opera Omnia characters have been announced and are coming out. But
Like Riku for sure, right? Surely
Totally.
Riku is one of those characters.
yep. Totally.
Totally.
But we're not going to talk about any of that because it's been 2 months and, stuff. What we are going to talk about is the FF14 news. There's been a bunch of it, but not right now. We're going to talk about that later at the end of the show with our official Final Fantasy 14 correspondent, Sean AFK.
It's not
Yeah,
me.
you couldn't pay me enough to go through that, so
I can't
Congrats,
get
Sean
into it,
AFK.
man. Guys, I really tried to enjoy 14.
no, you
And
didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, I did. When we would
No, you
play,
didn't.
I would seriously let
Sure.
me talk. I would actually try to give it a shot. I'm not completely closed off to 14.
You
being the game
streamed
I
it
play.
for like 2 times.
Okay, no, we got at least
We
24
streamed
hours.
it a little bit, and then I was like, "Hey, you just play it off stream because you'll like it more that way." And then he said no.
I just,
Wow.
it's not my game, man. But
Wow.
It will be.
one day,
It'll be your
when
favorite
I'm
game.
40, when I'm 45 and my kids are going to college because
Anywho,
no,
I didn't
anyway.
lie. I did not lie in my
Let me go on my
FF
rant.
in my I didn't lie in my FF16 spoilercast preview. Sean AFK has joined the Choco-Bros.
Basically,
He just
at this
didn't
point,
take
he
over
is
for me.
Yes, it turned out he joined in a very different way.
I'm
He's
just
now
I
the
can see the
official
future.
Final Fantasy 14 correspondent.
I
He's
can
like-
see the
he's like-
future. That's all I'm saying.
He's the cousin that lives down the street. He's basically in your house, but he's not official.
Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm just doing.
I don't know what
metaphors.
that means, but okay.
It's all right.
Sure.
It's apparently
Um,
11:16 p.m. Yes, I did your guys' time because I decided to go with that.
Yeah.
SB's tired.
Now I'm not tired. I'm just saying, Sean's not officially a Choco-Bro, but he's like your cousin, right? Like
No,
your
he's
cousin who
he's
lives-
officially a Choco-Bro. I have deemed him a Choco-Bro. He is a Choco-Bro.
You don't have that power.
I do too. I'm the reason the
It
Choco-Bros
has
started.
to be a unanimous
You're
vote.
not. You're not.
I am
King
the
Choco-Bro.
reason.
That's
I am
actually
the
not
reason
true
the
at all.
Choco-Bros happened. I was in Aggro stream. I am the one that said I've never played these games, and then Aggro was like,
Egg
"Hey,
is the
let's
reason
play
the
it."
Choco-Bros happened.
Egg is
No.
not a Choco-Bro. Egg is not
Egg
a
is
Choco-Bro.
not a Choco-Bro, but
No.
Egg is the reason.
You
the
know what?
Choco-Bros
I'm down.
happened.
Egg's a Choco-Bro too.
No, you don't have power
no,
like that.
you cannot
You know
do that.
what? My dog's a Choco-Bro.
Yes, Athena is Choco-Bro. That's
fine.
true.
That's
That's
fine.
true.
You know what? My dead grandma's a Choco-Bro.
Okay,
Shout
maybe
out
we're
to
going
dead
a bit-
family members. My cousin, fucking Choco-Bro.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Oh, yes.
Okay, Final Fantasy 16 news.
Yeah, let's.
So
My
lots
cousin's
of
dying
so,
to know what's happening.
So yeah, there's been lots of like random fluff pieces, but then yesterday, as of recording,
Oh my gosh.
September 2nd, there was at PAX West a Final Fantasy 16 voice actor panel where they were going to do a Q&A for voice actors. And I'm hanging out with Orpheus Joshua and Cold Steel 4, and we're like, well, I guess we'll just turn it on in the background, because why not, you know? I doubt there'll be anything important, right? It's just a
Sure.
voice actor Q&A. Right?
Right?
And then, they're at the beginning of the thing, and like, at the end, we'll have some announcements for you. And I'm like, aha, yeah, I'm sure they'll announce like a new figure or something. Who knows? Probably a wallpaper. I don't know. And then at the end, they go, there's going to be a new free update today, which was yesterday for us, which includes arcade mode changes, some quality of life changes, weapon glamour system, and outfits for 5 characters. We'll not go into detail on who, because Sparles has not played the game, and we
It
don't
says
have
4 and I locked
spoilers.
It is 5.
It's 5. I'm sorry. It's 4 characters and the dog. Sorry.
Lying to me in the freaking docket. Jeez.
Sorry. Yeah, that was all that, and that's already out. Then the FF16, 11 Final Fantasy 16 tracks are coming to Theater Rhythm on November 1st, which I've theorized for a while. They talked about how there were 2 DLC packs they hadn't announced, and were going to come out way later than all the rest of them. And to me, it was very obviously 16. And now that there's still 1 left, the last one is almost certainly Rebirth.
Yeah, it's gotta be, right?
Yeah, either Rebirth or maybe Ever Crisis. Maybe? I
I
doubt
doubt
it.
it.
Almost certainly.
No, I
almost
doubt it.
certainly
That would
Rebirth.
be out already.
Probably.
That's true. That as far as I would not have thought of that because I'm not
Yeah.
smart.
But then FF16, they also said officially announced it's coming to 16. Or sorry, coming to PC. 16 is coming to PC. Officially, at some point. And
Congrats, PC gamers.
Yeah, I'm never
congrats,
playing
Worlds
it.
Workley.
No, I'm not playing
Uh-huh.
it. Nope.
Why?
Because
Sure.
they suck.
What?
Uh-huh.
Who sucks?
Everybody.
Well,
I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm always mad.
why are you're getting what you want? You're getting the PC release.
Yeah, like 30 years later.
Yeah, they're not gonna release them on the same day. They want to
They
sell
should.
fucking PlayStation. Yeah, they should. But
PlayStation
running
sucks.
I'm running a goddamn business here, Swarls. I gotta make money.
I'm not making any money off this.
You don't think I work for Square?
Oh, SB, get out of here.
I am the head of CBU3.
I'm the head
Wow,
of you.
Yoshi
Now get out.
P himself.
That's me.
Like, good to know.
Me, Gungaga.
Gungaga. And Final Fantasy 16 is getting 2 installments of paid DLC.
Let's
We
go.
don't know anything other than that sentence I just said, but 2.
I wonder
The
what they're gonna
FF16?
be. Yeah, FF16's getting some DLC.
Okay, I was really
Oh.
confused because it says FF6.
It does say FF6.
Yes, FF6, critically acclaimed game over fucking.
I was like,
it's not
what?
30 years old yet, is it? No.
No. Well,
no.
why
There's
paid?
no way.
it's almost.
Why paid DLC?
It's like 2 or 3 years away. Because they're big
NFTs.
expansions. They're already. I just said the free DLC they put out yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
What
It better
am-
be like
okay,
$5.
Swirls, you can't complain when you buy like the $100 version of Call of Duty. Every
I
year.
have not bought
Yes.
it this year. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're right. You didn't buy it this year.
I
What
have
do
not
we
bought it this
expect the
year. I will
DLC to
not be
have?
buying it at all.
What's
was-
gonna be in the DLC?
I have no idea, and I don't think we should talk about that with Swirls around right now.
Yeah, you're right. Because if Dumbledore comes back, that's gonna be crazy. Oh,
Time him out. Time him out. Time him out.
I'm
Time
sorry,
him out.
Soros.
Time him out.
Anyway, yeah. So we'll theorize eventually.
We'll theorize some other time when some trailers or other more. He did say expect more news on the PC version and the DLC before the end of the year.
Fun.
So we
Okay.
will hopefully have some stuff to talk about by then.
Fun.
Yeah,
That was the
what else?
FF16 content, which apparently there will be lots more of.
Which is
I
good.
expected to basically never talk about that game again. But
You
moving
never
on,
talk about a game that's in your top 5? Yeah, right.
I don't like talking about that.
It's his
We'll go into
favorite
that.
game ever, Swarls.
No,
It's
it's
not.
top 3. I
It's-
called it right.
No, it's 5.
I
know,
called
I
it
just
right. You said 3 in the beginning.
It's my 3rd favorite Final Fantasy game.
It is a really
You're
good
correct on
Final
that.
Fantasy game.
It's my 5th favorite video game.
Dang,
Anywho.
top,
Maybe
top 5 is
6.
good.
I don't know.
Top 5 is good.
But FF7 Ever Crisis. There's been a bunch of info because that game comes out in a week. Actually,
I'm
no,
so
it doesn't
excited.
even come out in a week. It comes out in 4 days from today.
Oh my
Is it like
God!
is it like a mobile game?
Yeah.
Yes, it is a mobile
Oh
turn-based
yeah,
gacha
it's the
game.
mobile game that was like
that's going- yeah.
Sephiroth was answering a cell phone.
Yeah, it's gonna recap all the compilation games within this game and also tell an original story about Sephiroth prequel. Basically, we don't know too much about it, but there was a beta. I gotta play a tiny little bit. I know you gotta play too much. Seems interesting. I'm gonna give it a go once it comes out. Okay, I put it in the doc. Are we covering it as its own episode, SB?
That's up to you two.
I
Yeah.
don't know, because we want to play compilation with Swarls, right? Like, we want to play through FF7.
Yeah.
But it feels like if we...
I feel like we do that not as a main topic. Like,
I
we'll
think
talk about our experience with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going to be Ever Crisis pilled. I'm excited, man. I'm thrilled.
How about we do this? We wait and we play and see how much there's. Because,
That's
here's
true.
the thing. We don't know how much content is in the game when it comes out.
Could be episodic.
Yeah, it could be.
It
could be
is
like-
episodic. We
yeah,
know it's episodic.
It's probably
Oh,
like Dark
okay.
Road or whatever.
And
Dark
we
Road,
know...
take me home.
So from the trailers, we know they have up to SB. Do you know the
Unicross.
place you go to after you leave Midgar? You go to a place where you can get things.
Yeah.
Talking about the
I'm-
golden
I'm-
saucer.
No,
No.
I'm going to message SB.
I know what you're talking about, yes, because you would have said something else for something else, so yes, I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna message him
Genova.
right now.
Oh my god, Genova. Hey, I just got a Discord ping. Let me see who's my...
Well, who could it be?
Hey, it's Iron Aggro. Yep,
Oh.
okay, yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've seen up to there,
Okay.
and then they've said. Now this is one PR guy, one
PR
PR
guy.
guy in an interview once.
Who got fired?
Said
Because
no,
he said this.
we just haven't heard anything else about it. Said that they have the entirety of the original FF7 in the game at launch.
That's awesome.
I don't believe him. To be clear.
I don't either, but I want it to be true.
I want it to be true, but we know they also have a little bit of Crisis Core and a little bit of the original segment, which is the First Soldier segment.
Heck yeah, for soldier,
It-
let's go.
It just comes out at the perfect time because...
Swirls, the gimmick for the First Soldier is that the 3 characters you're following are the characters who won the battle royale.
That's fucking
Yeah,
That's
tight.
great.
That's their rank. They're the 3 that won.
I wish that game was good. I would have played
I
it.
wish it existed.
I wish
So-
it was on console.
or Switch, or I don't know.
Well, Switch is
PC?
console. Switch
Or
is
PC.
console. Fun fact.
Even if it was
PC,
just
yeah.
Switch and or PC.
Yep. But Ever Crisis is
That would've
coming out
been nice.
perfect
Yeah.
time because I've got a flight that I'm gonna be on.
Nice.
Where am I going? Oh, I'm going to Texas for Reconnect.
Yes, we are all going to be
We're all
meeting
going.
up. But
Yeah.
we'll see how. I think we'll see how it is, how much content there is at launch, and then decide if it should get its own
Yeah.
episode. Because
Well,
obviously it will be coming out episodically, so we'll be talking about it often as a secondary thing.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yo, so speaking of Reconnect,
Reconnect.
Okay, no.
this is being
scared.
pitched currently live to
This is
these
being
guys.
pitched
We have
live.
no idea what's about to
I have
happen.
no idea what he's about to say.
I'm nervous.
I
Say it.
promise to you all right here, right now, our faithful
fuck.
listeners,
I don't like
that
this
I
at
will
all.
get a video of all 3 of us together saying something special to all y'all in thanks of what you have done for us, the Choco-Bros. And I'll
Fuck
post
is
it
it?
on
What
our
are you gonna
Twitter.
Say? What have they done?
what
Oh,
have they
okay.
done?
Okay. They follow us on Twitter.
They
Got it.
follow
Oh,
us on
yeah.
Twitter, and they're our faithful listeners. Do you want more from them?
Yes.
No.
Download
No, I'm
Patreon and put in the fucking credit card
Yes,
numbers.
this is our announcer.
Oh my
Patreon.
gosh, yeah, we don't have one of those.
We don't have a Patreon.
We
You
don't.
guys listening to me make bad jokes and Swarls host and aggro
That's
telling
good
us
enough.
news is enough. Thank
Yeah.
you. I love you all.
Anywho, back on track.
Individually.
Back on track. Let's get back on
Back
track.
on
here.
track. We got a few.
I
There's
like
a new
getting
collab.
off track.
There's a new collab
Fair.
coming out.
I
There
like
are-
getting off track.
We have a couple the odds and ends news I figured are worth talking about, because obviously I'm skipping over a decent bit of odds and ends news that aren't worth talking about.
Okay.
Final Fantasy and Magic the Gathering are getting a collab next year and will feature
Dope.
every mainline Final Fantasy game.
Okay, what's
Ace.
the rarest card you think?
So,
Well, that cannot spoil me.
I hope that they don't do any. I don't know anything about Magic.
Do you
but,
know?
like, I know.
Okay, you don't know anything about
With
Magic.
I
Lord
know
of
that
the
they did
Rings, they
the
had,
Lord
like,
of the
the
Rings,
one
the
of
one
one.
ring. Yeah, yeah.
I'm okay with numbered cards. Make 1,000 of them and
No,
let me buy one
no,
for
do one.
$20.
Just do one.
No. Okay, so if they do
I wo-
one
how
card,
Many, I wonder how many
Because they do, they did the ring.
Feature
They-
every.
so they did the ring. There was the ring
Yeah.
for everything. Like you can get a ring for $5, SB. There's just one of one that is like
No, I know
super
that.
omega rare.
I don't. But if they do a one of one, what do they do? And it's very hard to talk about this because what can we say that won't spoil Swirl?
Sephiroth.
No.
He's like one of the best characters. People love him.
It would be.
Right. But
I
they
think
would-
SV. If you know what I mean, it would be the FF7 thing.
Yep. Okay.
Okay,
gonna-
cool. We
Man,
both know
we
what
are-
it would be. Yep, exactly. That's
Dude,
exactly what
we're
I was
so
thinking.
good. Oh
Cool.
my god.
Okay, you'll know eventually, Swirls. We'll let you know
Yeah,
when we get there.
I think it would be that or
Yeah, it will. Or it could also be a 16 thing, or it's either a 7, 16, or 14 thing.
What about a 14 thing?
That could be a 14 thing, and I can't think of any 14 thing.
Yestola.
It could
Nah,
be
there's
Coco
there's
Bussy.
no like there's
It
no.
could be Coco Bussy.
I
That would
can't
be
think of
insane.
any MacGuffin that is that important, that enough to get a one of one type deal.
Yeah. Like, cause there's, I don't know. Well,
Anywho,
But
we'll
let's
figure it out
Find
later.
out next year.
next year
No.
it says 2025.
Yeah, it's 2 years.
2 years from now.
Oh my god.
Maybe a
So,
year and a half. It depends
my
on what they
brother-
mean by
my-
2025.
My soon-to-be brother-in-law, my sister, is engaged to a lovely man named Brian. Shout out Brian.
Why the heck are we doxing Brian?
Listen, I didn't say his last name, but he is into Magic: The Gathering.
Uh-huh.
Are
we gonna get him on to talk about this?
No, I just
Yeah, we
like
can
to
get
believe
Brian
that,
on.
I like to believe that he will know to keep any duplicates he gets for me because I have made it very clear to him I love Final Fantasy, and he played Final Fantasy VII. He's like, yeah, I liked Final Fantasy VII, played it as a kid, but that's about his.
Okay,
I wonder if you can, like,
once
intermingle
this comes out, he
decks.
has to get on the podcast.
I cannot get that man to say I love you to me, so no. I don't. And like,
what?
I think it's a bit now. Like, all right, we're FaceTiming. I'm talking to my sister and him. All right, love you. All right, love you too. Love you, Brian. All right, talk to you later. Like, I just think he's like, he plays it up. But
all right.
if
Uh-huh.
I can't get him to say I love you, he's not getting on the podcast.
Good
right?
job, SB. Uh-huh, yeah.
Swirls,
Okay.
we can talk about our lives. I can be a person.
Good job, SB.
Okay, so
I feel slighted.
Distant Worlds 6 is coming out, which for you who do not know, Distant Worlds is the people who do the live concert SB went to go see. Remember that, SB?
I did not know they were doing Distant World 6.
They are doing Distant Worlds 6.
That's fucking sick.
For Swirls and everyone else, 6, the Distant World albums are original arrangements they do of a collection of songs to the series. They've done 5 albums so far, and this will be the 6th one. The tracks are...
No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't say anything.
Why?
Because
I'm gonna read them to you.
I don't want to know.
Why?
All right,
Okay,
mute.
go ahead.
You're
Go
gonna
ahead.
you're gonna be it's reading it on the back of the box.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, Final Fantasy 1-6 battle melody.
Medley.
Medley, whatever.
I didn't mean to correct you. I'm sorry.
Yes, you
Final
did.
Fantasy 3 Eternal Wind, which they have already done. So I guess this will be a new arrangement of Eternal Wind.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I'm excited for. Eternal Wind's one of the best songs in the series.
No, it's just the same
FF4
thing.
The Red Wings Kingdom of Baron.
Hey, we know that.
FF7 Remake Those Chosen by the Planet Destiny Comes.
Remake. Let's go.
FF7 Remake Jessie's Theme.
Yo,
Nice.
Jesse, best girl.
FF7 Advent Children The Promised Land.
Oh, okay.
Advent Children. I have
FF6
seen that.
Phantom Forest Phantom Train The Velt.
Dude, okay. This is literally just like the Distant Worlds that I just saw. Keep going. Keep going. Like everything that they were talking about here. They just played.
FF11 Ragnarok.
Yep.
FF5 A
Go-
New World.
Okay.
I'm going to skip this next one and save it for last. FF5 Home Sweet Home Music Box.
Yeah.
FF7 Remake Turk's Theme.
Okay.
FF7 Advent Children Cloud Smiles.
Okay.
FF6 Kids Run Through the City Corner. FF4 Main Theme. FF7 Remake Stand Up, which I'm very excited to hear an orchestral version of that song. And the Final Fantasy series main theme. Then the one I skipped is Final Fantasy VIII Eyes on Me, with the vocalist being Susan Calloway.
No way!
Who is the singer for Answers and Dragon Song from Final
That's
Fantasy XIV.
sick. Yeah, a lot of that is like when I just went to Distant Worlds, a lot of that is what they played. Like they played Ragnarok. They played I don't think they played Eyes on Me. They might have, I forget. But like they played the 1-6 medley, they played the Red Wings. My question for you guys, I'm looking at my Distant Worlds vinyls here. There's black, white, I think it's purple.
I already know.
Oh, they already announced the color?
Yes.
Okay, let me guess. I've got 2 guesses.
Okay.
Some sort of light blue or a nice deep purple.
Wrong on both accounts.
Yellow.
It's yellow.
That's so nasty. I can't wait to spend money on it.
It will be on their. The album will first be. You can buy it right now.
Oh, vinyl?
Yeah, it came out on the 21st.
Oh shit. Okay. Cool.
The album will first be exclusively available via the Distant Worlds Los Angeles concert on August 13th, with CDs joining their online storefront on August 21st.
But what about vinyls? Are the vinyls?
I don't think they've said anything about vinyls.
Okay. Because I only collect the vinyls. Just
You'll have to let me know.
Whenever I go to Distant Worlds again, they'll have it.
Yep. And the last odds and ends news. The Final Fantasy X Kabuki theatrical show now officially streaming with English subtitles until August 23rd.
You have here October 2023. So it was until August 23rd?
October 2023.
Okay. So I did not miss it. Okay.
No. We should do a watch party of this.
I was saying, where's it streaming?
I'm trying to find that out right now. I am on the Noisy Pixel
Yeah, I'm not
news
going
article. You have to purchase a streaming ticket. How much is a streaming ticket? That is 5,100 yen. How much is that in dollars?
Is that like $40? I don't know.
Yen to USD. That is $35.
I was actually closer than I thought I'd be.
SP, do you want to team up to watch this? Pull our money
No.
together to watch Kabuki?
Actually, the opposite of that.
You don't want to watch FF10 Kabuki?
I mean, I do, but I'm not spending money on it. I'll find a way to watch it
I'll
eventually.
buy it.
No, don't spend your money.
I need to see it though.
Buy Square Enix NFTs. That's what they want you to do.
Okay.
Okay. Whatever.
Well, thank you to Orpheus Joshua for most of this news.
Yeah, thanks, OJ. Love you.
And that's most of the news for now. Obviously, there's some stuff we skipped over, but not really that important stuff. Swirls, back to you.
Charles?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Sorry. You forgot the
okay.
best news of all.
What's the best news of all?
Best
You
news
spoiled
of
it
all.
already, though.
What?
Sean AFK is joining the Choco-Bros. He's gonna be here.
Yes.
You're about to hear some wonderful talk about FF14, the game that
There's-
SP and I
there's
cannot
still
get
more,
into.
There's still more first.
I know there is, but it doesn't matter because it's all we're talking about is crappy FF that you guys are playing. No one cares about.
Oh.
No one wants to hear about me and my feelings. They only want to hear about you guys are playing. Maybe I wanted to talk about what I've been playing.
Have you been playing any Final Fantasy games, Swirls?
I have been playing absolutely none, and my life has been wonderful for it. Okay, what games have you guys been playing?
Charles, am I a joke to you? Am I a joke to you for liking Final Fantasy?
Do you want me to answer that truthfully?
Nope. If you would have waited another second to start talking, I was about to say don't answer that. So I'm glad that we both agree that Final Fantasy is a blight on my life.
Yes, you want to talk about the blight on your life that is Final Fantasy 16, SP?
No, I don't, but I will.
Yes, let's hear it.
So as far as there's no spoiler territory here.
Yeah, no.
There for those trophy hunters alongside me, there is a trophy in Final Fantasy 16 called Here Be Rosfields for visiting every location on the map. Now, I don't claim to be the smartest or sharpest individual in the world, but I know how to look at a map and make sure I didn't miss anything. The trophy is bugged. I have visited every location on the map multiple times. I've done Google searches. I have looked. A lot of people are experiencing this issue. If I could pop that trophy right now, I would plat Final Fantasy 16 right now. I'd be done. But of course, my life is stained with my love for Final Fantasy. So I am currently working on a third playthrough of Final Fantasy 16 because I did my first playthrough. I did my Final Fantasy mode playthrough thinking, oh, okay, it's going to pop. It didn't. So I have to play the game again. At least the game doesn't suck.
He started his playthrough earlier, or was getting ready to start his playthrough earlier today. I tried to talk him out of it multiple times.
I don't listen to aggro. He's not my dad.
Wait, what? Do you
He's
not
my
have to
wife.
play through it again?
No, I do have to play through it again.
In hopes that maybe the trophy will pop.
And if it doesn't, I try again.
Wow.
If you play Final Fantasy 16 again, if the trophy doesn't pop so that you can pop the trophy again, I am no longer going to be friends with you.
I will give it one more attempt. If it does not
What is an
work,
attempt?
why did you have to call it out? I will give it one more attempt. If it does not work on this attempt, I will not give it another shot.
Okay.
Bull. I'm calling
This
bull
will-
I
right
don't
now.
believe you
This-
at all.
I'm calling
This will
absolute
be-
bull right now.
No, I can justify like, okay, hey, I have to do 2 playthroughs anyway. Let me do 1 extra playthrough. If the extra playthrough doesn't do it, okay, surely this one will do it. Outside of that, I'm not playing a game 5 times that's not quote unquote meant to be replayed, like how Resident Evil is meant to be replayed.
Mhm.
I'm not playing this long fucking.
There's new game plus.
Yeah, there's new game plus. Well,
But he already
okay.
did that. To be clear.
So what I did, I completely deleted everything Final Fantasy 16 off my PlayStation. I uploaded my saves to the cloud. I'm not stupid. But right now, my PlayStation is like, heard there, look, first time playing. So we're hoping that does it. And if it doesn't, I don't know. Enough about that. I'm done talking. Fuck this game.
All right, FF8.
I started FF8 in my own time because I realized it was going to be forever till we got to it. So I really, really wanted to play it. I've been meaning to play it for forever. And I'm not too far in because I keep getting distracted by other things. But It's pretty fun so far.
Have you
Interesting gameplay. Yes.
Have you did the first thing, which is like the first thing you do.
Mm-hmm. I've come back to the place where you're at, and I went to the party. I just finished the party.
You have not left the place yet.
No, I just finished the party and hung out with a lady.
Okay.
And then yeah, there's a lot of stuff with story stuff I'm kind of on so far, but we'll see how it goes. The gameplay is very interesting.
Fun.
So Swirls, a big thing for the game is that you can steal abilities from enemies.
Interesting.
Over and over again and stock them, as in
Wow.
like keep them in your pocket.
This is the one
Love
with
this
Leon,
story.
right?
And so yes, and so I just
Squall.
yeah, I've been having trouble with that, but so I've been stealing abilities and pocketing them, and then spending like 40 minutes in a single combat encounter so I can get to have 99 of said ability.
This is my favorite story ever.
And it's happening over and over again. It's why I've made no progress, even though I have played like 10 hours.
Yeah, you've played that for quite some time.
Yeah, I
Because
think
you're doing
total,
it on stream, right?
Yeah, on stream. I think total I'm like 8 or 9 hours in, and that combined with playing triple triad against one person over and over and over again for over an hour to get the one good card.
Triple triad.
And it wasn't even
So
the thing. It only took like 15-20 minutes to get the card. But in doing that, I lost a good card I already had, so I had to keep playing them to get that old card back over and over again. At some point, it became sunk cost, and I just had to keep going.
You know, when you're gambling, you're only one play away from your big win.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah.
Triple triad,
And
super good.
I think to transition into 14, we should talk about the one other game related to Final Fantasy we all played.
What is that?
Fall Guys. Hit game. That happened to have a Final Fantasy 14 crossover.
I think we played that for like two minutes, maybe.
We played that for 1 hour, and I had to beg to get to us to finish 1 whole hour.
Yeah, never playing that again.
I thought it was fun. If my
It's fun.
computer cooperated, my computer.
Yeah.
No,
was
it was not fun because of that.
My
Yeah,
computer
that's
was not
true.
happy that day.
Like we kept having to wait for you.
Hey, you know what?
True.
Shout out my smoking hot wife for playing with us that day, though.
Yes, shout out.
True, but
I will
just
say-
shout out Carissa.
I feel very happy that we went, okay, just one more. And the first time we did that, and then I won
True.
that one.
It was
So
nice.
I'm very happy with that. I
Me
did
too.
get one win. So,
Cool. Well, hey,
well, thank you.
you know what? I think this is a good time to hand it over to our lovely correspondent, Sean AFK, and Mr. Iron Aggro himself.
Well,
But
Love you, Sean.
I will let you know right here, right now. Follow us on Twitter. I'm going to try to be more active on Twitter. Choco_Bros_pod. I didn't make the name. SB did. Blame him. Then
That's what was available.
email us. The Choco-Bros
available?
podcast at gmail.com. And then follow us on YouTube. Subscribe, please. It costs you nothing. Subscribe and give us a little like.
I
The
will be
Choco
uploading our FF3 and FF4 videos soon.
The Choco-Bros. Anywho, I've been Swirls Barkley. Thank you all for listening to this. I know there's still more to come. Don't know how long it's going to go on for, but have a great rest of your day. And we will see you very, very soon, hopefully, with some more FF content with FF4.
Bye. I love you. Thank you for being here.
And we're back with special guest, Sean_AFK.
I gotta immediately say, I'm honored to be the official Final Fantasy XIV correspondent of the Choco-Bros. But I do have to say, if Egg is getting an invite to be a Choco-Bro, I don't want to be a Choco-Bro. I'll be one, but only if Egg isn't one. I just gotta start
Deal.
off with that. Okay, all right.
Deal.
You send over the paperwork. I'll have my lawyer Tyler Ims look it over, and we'll make a deal.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no.
We'll have to go under the table on this.
Yeah. I do have to run it through Tyler. Just I got to make sure that my interests are protected. he has never once protected my interest.
I'm very excited to force you to do some sort of marathon stream with me under this new contract.
Yeah. I will be letting Tyler read it over, so just slip in whatever secret things you want, and I probably won't find out. I do also want to say that this is a little awkward to say with you right here, but I do have to say that Swarls is my favorite Choco-Bro, and it's not just because he showers me with praise every single time that I come up. It's definitely not that. You cannot buy me with love and affection, but that's absolutely what it is.
No, you can't. I see how it is.
Yeah. I guess to give context, Aggro, you sent me the beginning of the episode, so I know what you guys talked about. And I will say, when you sent me the beginning of the episode, I thought, I'm not gonna listen to that.
I figured. I just figured, hey, why not? You know, we have it recorded and it's ready to go. I'll just give it to him, just in case.
Yeah, I thought, I'm not going to listen to that. But then last night, before I went to bed, I was like, I'll put it on. And so I listened to it, and great opening to the episode. I do have to say, you guys talked about the Theatrhythm DLC?
Yes.
I also called that the 16 music was going to be one of them.
Yeah, 16 Rebirth Seed.
See, here's the thing. I need to look at the dates again. I don't think Rebirth is going to be one of them. I don't think Rebirth is going to come out in time. Because isn't all the DLC supposed to be out by the end of this year?
I don't think there was anything about that. I think it was the ones that were announced were supposed to be out by the end of the year. I could be wrong.
Maybe there will be more that they'll announce afterwards. But this volume of the season pass, or I don't know. I thought that this was one of the ones that they had announced, but maybe, like, I thought that there was I thought we already knew about Season Pass 3, but they were just untitled.
No, every DLC was announced except for the last 2 packs.
Yes, which ended up being these 2, right? Bravely Default.
Which ended up being Final Fantasy 16 and a yet to be announced thing.
Oh, okay, so there's still one extra
all the
thing?
crossover stuff was announced. Yes.
Okay.
The only thing that we knew, there were 2 unannounced things, and that was FF16 and something else.
Yeah. Okay. And the last thing is coming out 1st of November, according to Nintendo Life. So I don't think that's definitely not Rebirth, but maybe they'll add more.
Well, I mean, you said the last thing's coming out 1st of November, but 16 one's not coming out till 11th of November.
Oh,
so that's
this article is old. This article is old then. Okay.
I mean, it probably changed just dates and stuff.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love for it to be the Rebirth music. I'm not getting my hopes up.
No. It's like if I am a little bit actually. I was gonna say no, I'm not, but I am a little bit, only because there's nothing else Final Fantasy coming out in the next few months other than Ever Crisis, and if it was gonna be Ever Crisis, they'd have already announced that.
I will say, for this last thing that is announced, I hope it's more 14 music, but it won't be more 14 music.
It won't be. Well, it could be Endwalker.
Because there's still a lot of music from 14 that I would want to be in that game.
If they go, hey, we're putting out the Endwalker soundtrack, and also some of those tracks will be in theater rhythm.
I could see that. Yeah. There's still some music from before Endwalker that I feel like should be in there, but that's neither here nor there.
That's what's going to happen when there's 1,000 tracks in the game.
Before we start talking about 14, I do just want to add one last thing. SB is a sick person, and I think that you guys are bad friends for enabling him in all of this. I just want to, whenever he talks about his addiction with Final Fantasy, like, that's serious.
The platinum.
Like, it's like SB has an actual problem.
Yes, I know. I yell at him about it every single day, literally.
I think that there is some sort of therapy or something that should be happening in relation to SB's relationship with the Final Fantasy series and Square Enix as a company.
It is not Final Fantasy. It's Platinums. It is trophies. It is PlayStation trophies.
He also,
Sean,
beyond that,
no.
Beyond that, as well, he has an unhealthy relationship with Square Enix as a company.
Possibly, but not
that
as unhealthy as I do.
Yeah, you guys
but
both
I've been trying. We have a shared PlayStation account, so he can download the games I have, and I can download the games he has.
Okay.
And I have many games, and especially I've been trying to get him to play Street Fighter with me, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds fun," except he won't play it on PlayStation because he doesn't want to get a trophy. Because then that would mess up his trophy completion.
Yeah, he's
rate.
sick. He's sick, and I think you guys enable him too much. And I'm worried for him. I hope that I hope that only publicly, right? I hope that
I gotta be
listeners,
there to support my friend Sean.
I don't think you're supporting. I hope that the listeners reach out to SBCat and just let him know that we're all.
You can email us at the Choco-Bros.
Yeah, don't do that.
I don't remember what the email is, but you can email us and talk to SB.
Tyler doesn't listen to this podcast, but I'm going to tell Tyler about the email thing. That you guys will read anything he sends in, and I will ruin your guys' life.
That's okay. I will read it out loud.
He will send the most despicable shit and make you read it out loud.
Understood.
But anyways, we should start talking about 14 because
yes, Final Fantasy 14 online. What a game!
I'm an addict now, and by an addict I mean I did let my subscription lapse.
Yes, you did. I know. You
did. I had been planning not to do that, but I got caught up with everything that I wanted to get caught up with, and I felt that like between Starfield and now also Sea of Stars, because I have Game Pass for Starfield, so I was like, I might as well play both of them. I got enough stuff to hold me over until 6.5 that I won't waste that 30 days of sub time not playing the game, you know? Yeah. So I did let my subscription lapse. But beyond that, I still am an addict, and I do blame you and some of my other friends.
Good.
Who I will not shout out because they're bad people for getting me addicted. And now I'm here. But I am happy to be the Final Fantasy 14 correspondent.
Yes, because SB refuses to play 14, so I gotta have someone.
We'll get him.
No, he will.
See, here's the thing: the mistake you guys made, and I know that you've acknowledged this. You acknowledged this on the podcast. Is streaming that game is a bad idea. As somebody who did stream some of that game, I was not having fun time streaming it. That's also like my personal thing of like I don't like streaming things where I have to read a lot of text. I think that's boring. So I had a bad time streaming it. I think that if we all just got together and we forced him, like we were like, hey, SB, just hang out with your friends and play this game with us. I think we can
tried. We've tried multiple times, and he plays for like 5 minutes and then goes, I'm going to go to sleep now.
I think we can get him. I think we can. I think that we need to believe. And
I want to believe. Because I legitimately, truly believe that it will be his favorite Final Fantasy game if he gets to Shadowbringers. I
don't see how anybody could get through the last two expansions and not think this is the best Final Fantasy game. Like,
yeah,
I've told you like, I think that I should say I don't know how it couldn't be their favorite Final Fantasy game, or one of their. I don't know, because like, with my ranking of the games, I do still have 10 above this game because I do think that ARR and Heaven's Word are not very good. And I guess we can jump right into the first thing on your docket here.
Yes. What are your general thoughts on 14? Let the people know.
So, when I was starting to play it, everybody was like, "Just get to Heaven's Word, and the game gets good. Get to Heaven's Word, and the game gets good." You guys are liars.
They're all liars.
Heaven's Word is fine. Heaven's Word is better than ARR, but it's still just fine. It is, in my opinion, post-patch Heaven's Word where the game gets really good, and I think there's a noticeable leap in quality between Heaven's Word and 3.1 when they start to introduce the by the way, also total spoilers for everything, I assume. I'm good to go.
Oh yeah, full spoilers for everything up to the current patch 6.4 and the raids and the Alliance raids. We're just gonna go all out, all spoilers. This is I think I'm going to title the episode the very, very, very late Endwalker spoilercast. So
yeah, okay. So yeah, I think that like once they start to introduce the Warriors of Darkness and they start to do that plotline and Alize becomes an actual character in the MSQ, I think that the game really picks up.
Yes, it's very clear, especially with like knowledge of behind the scenes of 3.1 is when they got to think for a second. Because they had to like plan out everything through the end of base Heaven's Word from the get-go.
And it
they
makes
had
sense.
To have an outline ready to go.
ARR builds up Heaven's Word, with all the stuff you do in Porthos.
I mean,
so it makes sense that like
1.0 was building up to a Ishgard expansion, even so they knew immediately they needed to do an Ishgard expansion for the first way.
But so I really only started to enjoy myself with the Heavensward post patches, and really liked Alexander. Did not give a fuck about the Alliance raid.
No, it was not there. It's not good.
I did not enjoy it. Stormblood. I love Stormblood. Stormblood is still one of my favorite things in the game. I know that's a controversial opinion.
Yeah, people are wrong. Stormblood is like almost as good as Shadowbringers.
Yeah, I think it's better than Shadowbringers in my opinion. I don't like it as much as Endwalker.
I don't think the lows are as low for me as for Stormblood as Shadowbringers, but the highs are also not as high.
I would. Okay, so Stormblood, the expansion. So this is also a weird way that I judge the games that I've realized that a lot of people don't. Is that I split up the post patches from the rest of the game. I do too.
Absolutely. Those are like I'm judging it by arc. Like there's the main game and the patches as a entity.
I think for me, main Stormblood had me more engaged throughout all of it than main Shadowbringers did. Although I will concede to your point that the ending of Shadowbringers is possibly top 10 video game moments of all time.
Yes.
It's really good. But so I really enjoyed Stormblood. I really got invested in all of that.
For me, with Stormblood, I was really into it. And then we went to Doma, and my interest started tanking.
See, I loved Doma.
And we went back to Alamigo.
I loved Doma.
Super unpopular opinion, to be clear. People love Doma and hate Alamigo for the most part.
I love both, is, I guess, my unpopular opinion is... I've got a friend who says that he wishes that the MSQ had ended after Doma Castle and that all the Alamigo stuff had been post-patch. And I'm like, that's the worst take I've ever heard. The expansion doesn't get proper resolution unless you go back to Alamigo at the end. It's what I think makes the expansion so good. So I really enjoyed that. I think I did not like the Stormblood post patch as much.
Okay. Interesting.
Until maybe the very end. I didn't like. I have to actually look at the post patch because I can't remember the post patch.
The first
well.
0.1 or what is it? 4.1 is the Fordola and Raubon Anonymous stuff.
Yeah.
Then 0.2 and 3 are the Gosetsu and Yotsu and Asahi.
Oh, I did like that stuff.
Then, the rest of it is the pre-Shadowbringers lead-in and the Imperial stuff for Empire.
I think specifically 4.1 is what I thought dragged too long. And actually, now that I'm looking at it,
of the Stormblood patches.
I like the stuff that happens in it because I'm a huge Fordola fan. But now that I'm actually looking at it, 4.1 is 11 quests, and all the other ones are 8 or 7. So I think comparatively, 4.1 drags on a little bit.
That's right. I think it's definitely just due to it's trying to tell two separate stories.
Yes.
Being the Fordola and then the it's trying to tell the Fordola story, then also the Raubon Anonymous story, and also it has the intro where they you do the quest with Ehrenwald and Alphino that's trying to it's trying to do what 6.1 did, I think, very successfully, which is give you some time of just feeling like you're living your life and doing average everyday stuff.
Yeah, I just feel like that was the wrong time to do that.
That's fair. I think they really wanted that, and I think personally, I think it was necessary because since outside of your little date with Amric, it's there was no point in the MSQ that is not go from the from the big events at the end of ARR patches.
Yeah, that's true. But I almost feel like that's a necessity of the story that they're telling. I'm not sure if they're. Yeah, I don't know. I would say it wasn't the right time to slow down. I think,
that's fair.
But I understand what you're saying as well. And then the end of the Stormblood post patches is my favorite shit in the game. I love Gimlet Dark. Gimlet Dark is probably still my favorite dungeon in the game.
Very good.
I love that, and I love the lead in to Shadowbringers.
I'll be honest. I'm a little sad that you did not get to experience that after 6.5 when that'll be able to go through with like the trust system.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I'll do it again with the trust system. I love the trust system, and I love doing duty support. That's how I
am
did,
curious
like,
who
all
will
of
be
stuff.
the trust, because that is the almost every NPC that would be there is already in the dungeon. So I'm curious which ones will slot in.
Yeah, I'm excited to find out. And then we get to Shadowbringers, and I will say I feel like Shadowbringers got a similar thing. I think Shadowbringers suffered similarly to how Heavensward suffered for me, in that they both got way overhyped. And when they just continued, they turned out to be more of the same for 90% of the expansion. I was like, oh, this is what everybody thinks is where the game, like, everybody talks about Shadowbringers as if, like, the entire game changes there. The entire game does not change until the very end of Shadowbringers. Like, I would argue until you get to Amaurot, it's more of the same, except now it's a world that I don't care about. And people aren't gonna like that. Whatever. I did not care at all about the first throughout any of the questing, and the only thing that kept me going was the Emmett Selk and Ascian lore reveals, which I think is some of the best stuff in the game. Like, Emmett Selk is my favorite character in the game, and I love what they do with the Ascians and with the kind of Forerunner civilization, the Ancients. But it just, all the rest of Shadowbringers did not work for me.
See, I have much higher opinions of Shadowbringers than you do, but lower than the average 14 player.
Yeah.
Like, I really like the start, and then, like, I think, honestly, I think it's the same thing in all expansions except Endwalker, where I think they all start strong for the first third, we'll say. And then I think the last third is fantastic. Like, I think right from I'm trying to think exactly. Right from going into Mount Gulg dungeon.
Yes.
And the lead up to the Mount Gulg dungeon to the end of the game is just, like, perfect.
Okay, lead up to Mount Gulg is really bad.
What?
I think. The lead up to Mount Gulg is, like, with the dwarves, and it's the most boring part of the game.
Okay, the dwarf part. Not the dwarf part. Everything else.
That's, like, half of the lead up.
Okay, everything else, though.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that, but there's a lot of quests.
Let's say, once you go into Mount Gulg, and then the rest of it.
Yes, I would agree with that. But again, I would also say that's like 12 quests out of a 100 quest MSQ.
That's fair.
Like, and that's where I think I have more of a problem with it than most people is there. I had a thought and then I lost it. But I really enjoyed the end of Shadowbringers. I really enjoyed the Shadowbringers post patches. I think they're all really good. Oh, the thing I was also going to say is, like, I feel like the main mystery of Shadowbringers with the Crystal Exarch would hit differently if I was playing this game along with everybody else.
Yep.
But the fact that everybody and their mother, when I was playing through ARR, was like, Grahatia's my favorite character in the whole game. And I'm like, the fuck do you mean Grahatia is your favorite character? Like, oh, just wait. So as soon as the Crystal Exarch showed up, I was like, oh, it's Grahatia. Okay. It's this character that everybody told me. And to a certain extent, and this is my own personal, like, problems coming out, Grahatia started with a disadvantage. Like, because I was mad that this part of the game was, like, so clearly being experienced differently for me than other people, that I was, like, predisposed to disliking him and disliking that plot line. And so Grahatia did not win me over until Endwalker. I actively disliked him throughout Shadowbringers and the post patches because, and I think that this isn't the writing, it's me going, I was mad that I wasn't getting to experience this the same way as other people. And so I was predisposed to disliking the plot line. And it wasn't until Endwalker that I was like, okay, I really like Grahatia.
I knew like I knew Graha came back in some capacity, and like the second I met the Crystal Arc, I went, "Oh, you are Graha Tia." But I had obviously, like you just said, I had the advantage of my one friend who had played the game skipped to Stormblood. So when I was playing through ARR with him, he did the Crystal Tower for the first time with me.
And he was like, "Oh,
yeah,
oh,
yep." And he's like, "Oh, and he does not have a good poker face at all."
Yeah.
And so he got to experience that with me for the first time. So I didn't really have other people that played the game that I knew. So I could just, kind of close out outside sources to an extent, thankfully. But I think like that's playing exactly like right when I played is a unique experience, specifically in regards to the Crystal Tower and such, in that like they've made it mandatory.
Yeah.
And therefore if you're playing through, most people are going to be smart enough to know they probably made it mandatory for a reason. And put two and two together. Like it's not very subtle, the hints they give that it is Graha. I think you even get the dialogue option.
You get a dialogue.
Hey, are you Graha Tia?
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. I think it's not subtle, but I don't think that it helps that. Again, just that the experience that I had with it. Like, possibly I would have guessed it immediately otherwise, like, even without all of that, but, like, I just had been, like, it was not even a question in my mind. Like, there was no doubt for me, and that frustrated me a bit. But yeah.
Yeah, I anytime I've had, like, played with someone going through ARR, and obviously Graha's too popular to just write off, and so I go, I like try to play it off as some sort of old meme where people were like, this random cat boy is the greatest character of all time, even though we've known him for one patch and that's maintained 10 years. It's a lie, but it's the closest I can come up with. That is not just he's the most popular character in the game.
Yeah. I really like the Shadowbringers post patch. I really think it's quite good, especially once you get out of the first. Even though the lead up to that is also very good. And like I like
I still think 5.3 is probably the peak of the game outside of specific parts of Endwalker.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel. To be honest, I almost felt a little let down by 5.3. I don't know that I felt super, like, part of me felt that I was a little disappointed to see Elidibus go so quickly. Where I felt
I didn't think that was it for Elidibus.
Yes. And obviously it isn't, as we've, like, gotten recently and throughout more stuff. But I think there's almost a part of me that would have liked to have seen Elidibus continue into Endwalker, but also knowing the plot of Endwalker, that wouldn't have worked. No. Like, Elidibus had to be gone for Endwalker to happen.
For me, I was just happy to, like, I always found Elidibus to be a really big weak point in the writing of...
See, I really liked him.
I liked him, but I always talk about how I'm more upset about missed potential than something being bad.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that.
And he was the epitome of missed potential, and now he's my third favorite character, so... they grabbed it.
Yeah, but I almost feel like that's not because of... I don't know, I feel like I like Elidibus so much more because of what they do after he's gone. I will say,
I liked him in a lot in those patches, but the Endwalker and Pandemonium stuff is what pushed him to that.
And as we're now getting into the final duty in the 5.55, the Death Unto Dawn duty.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One of the best pieces of gameplay in Final Fantasy.
I don't know if I ever brought it up to you, but I remember going into that, you are going to play as Oriange, Graha, and Alize, because those are the only 3 Scions you hadn't played as yet.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, because, like, you got to play as, Alphino, and then Y'shtola in the Stormblood patches, Estinian, Thancred, and there's someone else. But anyway, those were the ones you didn't get to play as at all. And so by the time you go into Endwalker, you've played as every single Scion. And that is a big reason why I think Zero's sticking around, is because you've only ever played as Scions, except for Zero. But yes, Endwalker.
So yeah, and I know you have a whole breakdown you want to go through Endwalker with.
I mean, I guess care.
I'll give my big overall
Stick to
thought.
it as much or as little as you want.
Hey, I'm cool. I'm cool with going through it a little more break down Endwalker a little bit more. But I guess my big thought on Endwalker is I think that it is the perfect Final Fantasy XIV expansion. Yep. I was not bored for any of it. I was engaged with every single little plot line that we did. The only thing that frustrates me a little bit about Endwalker that I understand why they did it, but it still frustrates me, is how the Garlean storyline takes such a huge left turn.
Okay.
I really, especially, and I'll give this part to something I don't like about Shadowbringers. I don't like that they kill the Emperor. Especially after the big scene in the Stormblood post patches, where I think you finally are like, oh, this guy is formidable and will be an interesting antagonist. Then they kill him off, and I did not like that. I think that is one of the only writing decisions in this entire game that I have disliked and not understood why they did it. Them killing the Emperor in Shadowbringers, I think, is just a bad idea. Like, I don't understand why. I think I think that's bad. And I there's nothing that I've played so far that makes me go, that was worth the trade-off of killing off such a major antagonist that's been around for so long and has shown themselves to be pretty interesting, especially as of late. I did not think anything that they did after that was worth, specifically with the Emperor. I'm talking about the anima stuff. I don't think any of that is worth the trade-off of killing off that character so unceremoniously.
I think they knew they didn't have the time in the story to devote to fully converting they knew by the end of Endwalker the Garleans had to be amicable to we couldn't just leave that for the future. Plotline had to be closed off, and so the answer was we got to cripple the Garlean Empire. Otherwise, there's not if I don't see. I mean, I'm not a writer, but I don't see how they could have taken the time to make them see eye to eye, especially when you had the Emperor and his whole thing in 4.5 being very much we will never agree.
Yeah.
And specifically, I think it was killing Varys. It crippled the Empire just inherently, because they've set up for forever that they were they were on the verge of another civil war. Since Heaven's Word, they've been laying the groundwork for that. He just barely got the throne. They are just barely keeping it from a civil war.
Yeah.
And also he is the main proprietor behind Black Rose. And they very much did not want that to be a continuing plot point going into Endwalker.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how quickly they throw Black Rose away as well.
Yep. And then also to prop Xenos.
I think so I understand I guess why they killed the Emperor, but I feel like killing the Emperor is a lazy shortcut, in my opinion. Because I understand that I
think they could have theoretically had the Emperor take, I can't even remember his name, the leader of the First Legion, I think.
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
That guy. Yeah. I think they could have very easily had him take that role somehow. I don't know how it could have worked, but
yeah, I understand. From what I understand, from what I've talked to people, at one point there were going to be 2 expansions, one for Garlemald and one for Endwalker, and I get that. That honestly probably would have been too much.
Yeah, that would.
So I understand that, even though I was really looking forward to that Garlemald expansion, I understand why they took the shortcut of we need to cripple the Empire so that we can get to Endwalker. It's the killing of Varys so unceremoniously that I think is a bit of a lazy shortcut that I don't like.
I do think like him dying unceremoniously is I don't think it necessarily it's good inherently.
It's kind of the point.
Yes, it's the point.
Absolutely.
Xenos is here and he's just killed the main antagonist. Bye.
I think that was almost like I didn't need Xenos to do that. Like Xenos already was enough on my calendar on my radar that I didn't really. Yeah, I got a date with Xenos. I didn't need that. But again, like you're saying, I understand. I understand the decisions behind it, so it made it so I was still able to enjoy the rest of the expansion. It didn't like ruin it. It's definitely
they wanted the Garlemald to be in the state it is in so that they can tell the story they do in Endwalker. And if Varys was alive, the story they could have told in Endwalker would have been very different.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell exactly what that could have been, but we'll never know.
So the way that you have this set up is actually the way that I went through Endwalker as well. I did do Charlian before Radzatan.
Nice. I did Charlian first. Because I remember I knew the dungeon was in Radzatan.
Okay.
And
yeah,
so
I did not know
I
that.
wanted to like I knew that would probably lead in better.
I just had been waiting for Charlian for so long that I really wanted to get to explore.
Yeah, that's fair.
I really like all this stuff in Charlian. I like the stuff with Alize and Alfino and their dad and what's his fucking name?
Fortuna.
Yeah, Fortuna. I like that stuff. I don't know. I guess I don't have a ton to say about it. I like the secretive society of Charlian and what is revealed later on.
Charlian and Radzatan intros are definitely like the start of the expansion is definitely the low point.
Yeah. But I still think it's pretty strong.
Yeah, it's still good. It's probably like comparing to the other intro starting areas. I think it's probably. Yeah. I
would say it's my favorite.
I might put Shadowbringers personally above it. Again, I think Shadowbringers is a really strong start.
I think if Alfino had as strong of a start for me as Alize did,
you know what, that's fair.
Then, like, I think Alize's start is stronger than the starts of Endwalker, but Alfino's start is lower, in my opinion. Whereas I think the Endwalkers both are good. Yeah, I like the start. I like the introduction of Radzatan. I think it's a cool area. I like all the dungeons. I'm just kind of scrolling through the MSQ, honestly, and seeing when thoughts pop up for me.
For the Charlian, like, I will say, I think that, like, there was a lot of stuff that I was just like, okay, let's get to the next bit. Like, the only really strong scene in the Charlian, like, intro for me was, the first scene with the flower, where Cryo gets possessed.
Yes.
I think that was probably the strongest scene of that, of like, the intro in general.
I think I also just really liked the mystery, because I, at least, did not pick up until later what was happening. I don't know if people immediately got to Charlian and knew what was going on.
But that they were, like...
working with the Loporits, or whatever.
Well, I pretty much immediately went there planning for the end of the world. But I knew about the... What's the actual area called that you go into? That is the zone.
Labyrinthos?
Yeah, Labyrinth. I knew about Labyrinthos and went... Oh, they're making an end of the world bunker.
I guess I did
actually an end of the world bunker.
That's probably where I was as well. I was like, okay, clearly they're preparing for the end of the world, but I didn't know like where exactly it was going. So that mystery was like whether it was, I didn't know if it was altruistic or not. And that's where I was like, the mystery of like, are they going to let everybody else come? Or is this them saying, fuck the rest of you guys, we're going to live? And I just liked exploring Radzatan and Thavanir, and I think that's a good introduction. And then I liked wrapping out the Garlemald questline. I really like Julius. I really like that storyline in there in Garlemald. I really like that first Legatus guy.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I really like him.
I can't remember his name, but I love that scene of... And to me, there's almost like... There's almost a... I like that they had him... Like, he's a true believer.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't like kill himself out of fear about what's gonna, like, he doesn't kill himself out of like a fear of, oh, I just don't want to deal with the aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
He is like, no, I believed in this vision, and now that this vision has not come to pass, I don't believe that the world is worth living in.
I think that's probably Garlemald's biggest weakness in general, is that other than this guy and Varys, and then do you remember?
You mean as like a nation?
As
their
like a
weakness
nation?
As a nation? Yeah.
They're
than
not
Varys,
true believers. That one guy who killed himself, and that's his name. And you remember the one legatus from the Warring Triad quest line?
Yes.
Those are the only 3 characters who actually believed in Garlemald's ideals.
Yeah.
Every single other Garlean we learn about either had their own like goal
agendas,
or didn't like specifically Gaius. He had a version of it, but not like he cared about Varys and he could see what his goal was, but he had a version of it in his mind that didn't align with what Garlemald actually was. But so we only have 3 characters in the entire game that actually cared for the Garlean vision,
and that really ends up screwing them over.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason. Like they did what they did is that like they. I don't know. Even they never set up the people believing in it well.
Yeah. I did really like as well, because I played this after Dawn Trail was announced, so I kind of already knew that we were going for a what looks like FF10 themed expansion. We'll talk about that later. But I did like when I was playing through the Garlemald section when they're like, the 10th Legion is the first to surrender. I'm like, oh, I bet that's going to be relevant. And I hope it is. I hope it is that they specifically mentioned the 10th Legion is the first to surrender.
Possibly. We still have, I think a big thing is they still, or a plot point they've been setting up a lot is, I believe it's Corvos, which is where Graha is from, among other people. And they mention that a lot in Endwalker. And specifically, I believe it is still Garlean occupied. And we don't really resolve that at first, because Corvos is the Garleans' actual homeland. So I think we could definitely delve into that in the future, because we're going to the New World in the Dawn Trail, but are we only going to the New World?
Who knows? We'll talk about that.
Yes. I would like, here's one thing, random thought I have to share.
Okay.
Anyone who gets mad at Stormblood specifically, but really the idea of going to multiple places in an expansion, I want to say I'm very mad at them every single time, because Endwalker went to like 5 or 6 different
and I think
locations
it's the best paced
on multiple
expansion.
sides of the globe. Exactly. Going to multiple locations doesn't mean anything in terms of pacing.
Yeah.
But people look absolutely at Stormblood and go, ew.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%.
Okay.
And then everything was proceeding, kind of like I was expecting.
Real quick. The start of the Garlemald section. The big group. I loved that part so much.
Yeah.
That part's awesome. Warriors together and I don't know if you realized, but like almost every important looking NPC there is a job NPC.
Yeah, I could kind of tell. Yeah.
I loved and you get little dialogue things with them if you've done their quests.
Done their jobs. Yeah, no, I really loved that section. I got super hyped during that section. And Lise was there. And Lise is one of my favorite characters in the game.
Lise is very good and underutilized.
Yeah, absolutely. She deserves to go on the summer vacation with the rest of us. And then the Endwalker kind of took a big twist that I was not expecting, and we fought Zodiark at level 83.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that at all. I really thought Zodiark was going to be like one of the final bosses of the expansion.
Yeah, see, like I knew there'd be like Zodiark wasn't it. Like they've done enough background setup to go. That's not it, obviously. Because just Fandaniel's existence in general, and then specifically in the what is it? The last dungeon of Shadowbringers Amarat.
Yeah,
they very explicitly talk about you know, how all
Things
this stuff
went
was
bad
happening
before.
before Zodiark.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's got to be
I just wasn't expecting it to be like the first.
Yeah.
You know, it was quick. And I loved it. And I love that sequence. And I love the moon in general. I know some people don't like the moon.
I do personally. I do agree for the most part that for a little bit there, the pacing kind of takes a nosedive.
See, I think like I love the Loporrits so much, which I've never played Final Fantasy IV, so this was my first introduction to them. And also just like, I don't know, I loved them so much, and I loved, like, I could already see kind of the plot line that they go on to play around with forming immediately. I was like, oh yeah, they're clearly this is going to be a like kind of deeply psychological, like, what the fuck is their purpose if we're not going to go along with their plan type thing. Yeah. And I just find them to be like one of the most fascinating races introduced into the game because of their like role in the story of the universe of like, you guys are just tools for other people's survival is such a like, what the fuck does that do to a person? So I was so enthralled by that whole plot line. And so I really enjoyed that. And then like, you go back to Ralzadhan and the world is ending, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think the let's look around at what the Loporrits have done over the past hundreds of years, thousands of years. It goes on a bit too long. I think that specifically there's a lot of, you know, the part where you dress up with Thancred and Y'shtola. I think that stuff goes on a bit too long. The actual story stuff with Urianger and the Loporrits is really good.
I think the charm was enough for me. The charm of it, but I understand like your point of view on it. And then like the Ralzadhan stuff had the most stressful scene in all of the game for me. When that one guy is carrying the baby, and they're both beginning to fall to despair. And I'm like, oh, like, don't make me watch this fucking baby turn into a monster. Like, like, come on, man. And I hogged when Estinian showed up.
See, I loved the part when a mother holding her baby got knocked into the water and died. Yeah,
you have to swim down,
and then you get to use your breathing underwater powers that they gotta remind you have every expansion once per expansion.
Yeah,
to save a drowning baby.
I thought it was hilarious how deep that baby went as well. Yep. Like they were underwater.
That was way that thing would have been like sorry baby, you would have been crushed.
Yeah, no, it was funny.
But no, they gotta remind you have your breathing underwater powers once per expansion.
Ooh, and then I unlocked. You're gonna be mad at me for this, actually.
Oh no,
I still have not done the role quests.
Yeah, you should. You unfortunately started with the worst one.
I will go do those probably with 6.5 when that comes out.
Because you were a magical DPS, so you had the Ishgard one, which is by far the worst one. The tank one is Gridania, and that deals with Kane Senna and specifically the character who gets the most content in that is Kane Senna's unnamed bodyguard who has been in the game since 1.0.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, he gets a character arc.
Oh, I love that.
And he's really cool, actually. I like him a lot. That's cool. Still unnamed. That's cool. But I really like it's the only Gridania lore we get ever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Then the ranged physical DPS, or what's range? Oh, range physical. Oh, you know what? Range physical DPS is the best one.
Okay.
That is the Doma one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
I love Doma.
Doma characters.
They mentioned Doma a bunch throughout the expansion. They're like, Doma's having their whole own thing going on.
Yeah.
Because I think they're the only people that don't get represented in. Oh well, I guess I guess the Steps crew come.
Yeah.
But like Hien's not there, and they're like Hien's doing something, and I was like, what's Hien up to?
I think you will really like the ranged physical DPS. The melee DPS is Limsa. I think that one's pretty fun. It introduces a character, but I'm not going to tell you much about him. But at the end of it, he basically goes, or almost literally says, well, this was fun. if we ever meet again, I'm going to pretend I don't know you.
in case you didn't do this role quest.
Almost
That's
certainly.
funny.
He's way
That's
too
funny.
important. I would bet money he's gonna be in Dawntrail in some capacity.
That's really funny.
And then the healer quest is also really, really good, and it's about Alamigo, and specifically Fordola and Aaron Vold are the most important characters in that. And the role quest is really good, and you will like it for reasons I will not say.
I'm sure I'll enjoy all of them. I'll go through and do. I gotta level all the. I got a lot of stuff to do still. I just didn't want to I was like, I'm gonna be playing a lot of other games during September, so I'm not gonna pay for a month that I'm not gonna be.
I
playing
definitely didn't buy Armored Core and then play 5 hours of it because I'm gonna play 5 other games instead.
Exactly. You get it. And then we went to Elpis, which, man, I was a little underwhelmed by Fandaniel until we got to Elpis, and I was like, oh, Hermes is one of the best characters in the game. Wow. That's a surprise. And I just getting to hang out with my boy Emmett Selk and Hythlodaeus, which
Hythlodaeus is so good.
Definitely not how I was pronouncing that name.
No.
The
I don't
whole
think
time.
anyone was.
They say it Hythlodaeus, and I went, no. I've been saying Hythlodaeus.
I think they said it at some point in some live letter or something. And so we knew the actual pronunciation.
Yeah.
But I even really liked Hythlodaeus just in Shadowbringers and the Shadowbringers patches.
Yeah,
He's
awesome.
So I was so happy to get more of him.
Yeah, no, I love that entire plotline in Elpis. And Vana is fucking awesome.
Vanah's one of my favorite characters in the whole game. I had very low expectations for what they would do with Hydaelyn.
Yeah.
And
they blew it out of the water.
Yeah, I think it was perfect.
Yeah.
I do not think they could have done it better. The end scene of Elpis is, I think some of the other scenes are better. It is the most well-made scene in the entire game, by far. In terms of a direction.
Yeah, you're talking about when we see the Sundering?
Yeah, the 7-minute long scene at the end there.
I really thought that Hydaelyn was going to be evil.
Yep.
I really thought going into that. And I would have been okay with that, but it is a very tired trope that God is actually
very
evil.
easy.
So
and I like that you have dialogue options to lean into the
I
do not trust you anymore.
I told that. I said you're primal. I don't trust you. But I think that what is a lot more interesting in what they choose to do here is they're I think it also works because really she's not a god, she's a person.
Yeah.
But the idea of no, she does love people, you know, and she does this quote unquote terrible thing out of love. From henceforth, man shall not have wings to soar heavens or whatever.
That is my favorite line in the game.
Yeah, from henceforth you shall walk or whatever.
And then she does the Warrior of Light pose.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite line in the game. And her VA is incredible.
Oh, awesome. So good.
She voices Aveline in Dragon Age 2.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, the game you're wrong about.
Yep. Look, that's a different podcast, Sean.
That's a different podcast. Yeah, we'll do that. The Road to Dragon Age Dreadwolf.
That game that's gonna come out.
Yeah. And then figuring out what's going on. We learn about the Sharlayans have been working with which as soon as I met the Loporets and they're when we woke up and we started talking to the people on the planet, I was like, oh, okay, it's the Sharlayans.
Yeah.
And then we get the Mother Crystal fight.
Even the main cast do that and then don't talk about it.
Yeah.
They then the next time they talk about it, everyone's just automatically under the assumption that they were talking to the Sharlayans.
Yeah.
The viewer does not get anything if they don't figure it out on their own.
The Mother Crystal trial was incredible. I really I need them to now go ahead and do this for more trials. They've done duty support for trials.
I want to be able to play
this whole game by myself.
So good. Woo, what a good trust thing. No, they're wrong.
Oh,
you know what happened
for
me?
What happened
for me is within 1 minute of the start of the fight, I go to the correct location away from the, I go to the correct location. And so does Y'shtola. Yeah. All 6 others stack together, and then die immediately.
They must have fixed that because I did not have any problems
Probably
with that.
It was immediately. And
they were better than actual players.
Yeah, no. Somehow not for me. I wanted to do that with them so bad. I was so excited. I hate the trust system. No offense to people who like it, but I think it's so slow. I just want to actually do them. And I like playing. I like having that first experience with other people to an extent.
I think I only like it that much on the first playthrough because I did do the duty support for all of Endwalker. I did all the dungeons duty support, and I enjoyed that experience. But for sure, it feels slow.
I really like the day one experience of figuring out mechanics with other people, and I know you have not gotten to experience that. Yeah. And I think and you don't quite get that with trust. No. I remember doing the what is it? The 5.5 dungeon where you fight Bahamut at the end, or Void Bahamut, whatever. And that fight was so disappointing because I didn't have to figure out anything because all the NPCs just walked to the exact frame they had to be on.
I feel like with duty support I still had to figure out the fight. I feel like I think
there are some that are good at that. But
I feel like I had to figure the fight out.
It really depends on the fight design.
I guess. I feel like I had to figure out the fights more than if I had just been doing them by myself.
Probably, specifically, more than if you did them with people who have done them before, but less than if you're doing them with people who haven't done them before.
If it's day one, sure. But
day one, I'm there for... I want to experience that with people.
Okay,
I was day one at the time. Or, day 3, whatever.
Yeah. I will say... where I felt the pacing dragged,
yes,
a little bit,
where everyone felt the pacing dragged,
was the last area.
No, wait, no, that was not what I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say where everyone else says, which is specifically the quest where there's a huge circle and you have to go find 8 people within it.
I was fine. Oh, that one definitely was awful, but that was one quest. That might be one of the worst quests in the game. For sure.
That is the worst quest in Endwalker, question.
That might be one of the worst quests in the entire game. It's it was really frustrating. But for me, Ultima Thule, I don't know. It went on a little bit. It was cool, but I think I was ready for the end at that point. And so I was like, okay, I get it. I get what you're going for here.
For me, I think it was the middle that dragged because for me, I care so much about the dragon stuff, and I care so much about the Omega.
Yeah, those were kind of cool.
Those are 2 plot points I loved since they were introduced, and so to get to see them,
I like them. Fine.
But for me, the middle one of these guys I don't really care about, and mainly focusing on Y'shtola, who is my least favorite Scion, kind of made. Well, I think also
part of it for me was I don't know. They were coming back. I think the scenes are written well, right? In that I felt the pain of the other characters, especially Alize. By the way, as we get to this point, Alize is the best Scion. I feel like they like Alize the most as well.
Yeah, they do.
Because Alize gets the most to do.
Alphino and Alize have always been to them the main, if you weren't there, they would be the main characters.
And I feel like even Alize gets more than Alphino.
Yeah, because I think Alphino is in a box at this point. He had most of his character development, and Alize gets to be the one who gets to be emotional about things.
Yeah,
she's a lot like the Warrior of Light,
and I think that's why they pair them up.
And she's also the one who not to say the other Scions don't care about, but she's the one who most vocally cares about you.
Yes,
amongst the Scions, and Graha. And specifically, she has multiple scenes where she talks to you about how you're to not go off on your own and get hurt.
Yeah.
I want to say about Endwalker, them pairing up Graha and Alize was such a good decision.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
The two of them are great together.
Yes. But yeah, I liked seeing Alize's reactions to everything happening and all the other characters' reactions to everything happening. But for me, that was the part where I was like, okay, I'm ready to get to the end. I'm ready to confront what's her name? Meteon. And then the ending of Endwalker is, I mean, perfect. I mean, it's fucking, it's, I love because he holds up the crystal and he's like summoning. I'm like, yeah, he's going to summon all of his buddies. Like, I knew that we were just going to summon them all back at the end here. And then only 2 of them light up and I'm like, huh? And then it's Heath Ledéus and Emmett Silk. And I was so happy. It's a really meta.
I'm going to use my wish to wish for more wishes.
Yeah. But it's really meta, like their lines of like, I was perfectly happy to watch from the thing, but it's been the perfect amount of like, drama and everything. So it very like very meta, but I loved it. I loved seeing them again.
So Emmett's like big final speech where he talks about like, I'm sure someone might have told you.
You mean his Xehanort speech?
Yes.
Where he takes Xehanort's ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 and just speaks it instead of having it happen.
Is just a better Xehanort, yes.
Emmett is
it's
a Xehanort.
More complicated than that, but still it's funny to say.
Emmett is definitely better. They go for the same thing and definitely better executed. But I think that Xehanort has a pretty similar ending to Emmett. It's just that Kingdom Hearts fans are unable to read subtext.
Yes. But no, specifically his big speech about about all the things you still haven't seen yet.
Yes.
So have people told you about that?
What do you mean?
So that they've you know how Endwalker got delayed. No, you know how Endwalker got delayed 2 weeks, 2 weeks before it was supposed to come out.
Yes.
They've said that explicitly. The thing that got the game delayed 2 weeks was adding that in.
Ah, okay.
Because that wasn't there, and then they realized they needed to add another
some sort of hook.
Someone saying it's not the end, guys.
Yeah. Okay.
And specifically, they picked Emmett. I think it's probably the best. Probably my favorite Emmett scene, to be honest.
And I do love that he ends it with being like, "Hey, by the way, I still don't fucking agree with you, but I've lost. So you go for it. Good luck, dude."
No.
It's what Xehanort isn't saying, but is the point of that scene at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. But again,
spoiler for Kingdom Hearts 3, by the way.
Yeah. Oops. Well,
Who's listening to this hasn't played Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah, for real. It's just subtext. Yeah, and then
the dungeon, which is really good.
Great dungeon. Then obviously, your boy shows up. I like him too. I love him too.
My boy.
Xenos shows up. I think we have different interpretations.
I have the correct interpretation.
Yeah, I think you're wrong.
That's just a fact.
But Xenos is a bad guy, and he's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's also very similar to the Warrior of Light.
Yeah, kind of. I think the problem is that's a the Warrior of Light is such an empty shell that that's only true if that's how you feel about your Warrior of Light.
It's true to an extent. There's still that shell is still there. There's still the dialogue options you get and the things you are going to do. And
yes.
I think they definitely, the further the game gets, the more defined that gets, which I know a lot of I've seen a lot of people be upset by more and more as the game goes on of my character wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Where to tell a story well, you have to have the protagonist to be an active participant in the plot to an extent. And I think what they have, and I think Xenos' existence in general as the main rival and antagonist of the rival for 2 of 4 expansions.
Yeah.
Is very much there to parallel you. And how that parallels is up to your interpretation to an extent.
Yeah, I really love that that's where it ends. I do love that scene with Xenos, by the way, to make it clear. I'm not saying I don't like the scene.
I know.
I just, when I got the dialogue option, I said, let's finish this. Let's get this over with. I'm done with you. Because from my perspective, my Warrior of Light is totally not cool with Xenos. We are not friends. We are not, you are a crazy person that lacks any sort of empathy and will do whatever you want just to get off. And the way that you get off is through fighting, apparently. Like, I've seen people that are like, oh no, but he saved the world at the end. Like, just so he could fight you. Like, he doesn't. He did not save the. No, but he didn't save the world out of any sort of like moral, like, oh, I feel bad that I've. Like, he was totally willing to end the world in the first place. And he doesn't save the world out of like, oh, I did the wrong thing. He saves the world out of, I want to fight the Warrior of Light, and I guess I can't do that if the world is over. Like, like, even when he shows up, he's like, oh, you haven't beaten this thing yet? Like, he doesn't see it as like, I need to go help win as like my duty or whatever for what I did. It's like, I'm going to go there and hopefully he'll already have beaten the thing so that we can fight. But if not, I'll get rid of it so that I can get my fight. Like, it's never about doing anything good. It's about getting rid of any obstacle in his way to have his fight with you, which is a great character, in my opinion. Like, I
think he is, like, for even me, who is seen as my favorite character ever written, I love him. The most I think my favorite moment is still in 3 or 4.3 when I realized he was going to come back. I went, why? Like, for a story perspective, what are we going to do with him?
And I think it's done perfectly.
Yeah. The answer is he is there to be the antithesis to Medion and Hermes.
Yeah.
He is like the exact, like, they both have very similar views, but from exact opposite perspectives, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I could probably write an essay on this, and so I have a bunch of scrambled thoughts, so I'm going to let you lead. But Xenos is the best.
That scene is awesome. That fight is great.
Yeah, it's very good. That is my favorite scene in Final Fantasy, period.
It's probably up there for me. And I don't know. I've seen a lot of people afterwards that were like, if you didn't imply that you and Xenos are actually friends, then you don't understand the writing. And I'm like, I don't, like, what? Like, I don't know that any, like, I don't know. To me, I don't know how my Warrior of Light could have said, like anything friendly to him.
It's not, he's talking to you and basically saying, he's trying to empathize with you to an extent.
Yeah.
Of saying, you want to fight too, right? And any of your answers is yes. But, because the thing is, no matter what, it's yes, because he gives you the option to leave. You can't take it because it's a story.
But he was never going to let us
Yes, he was. That's the thing.
No, he wouldn't have let us leave. I don't believe
That's his entire character is getting to the point.
But he's a crazy person.
Yes.
He's not going to let us leave.
He's absolutely crazy. But his entire character development through the entire game is finally getting to the point where he would be fine with you leaving. He obviously doesn't want you to, but he gets to the point where he'd be okay, like, he was going to let you leave. He's not going to try to force you to stay. And that's when he finally gets what he wants, is when he gives that up.
I disagree with part of the interpretation in that I don't think that the option that I chose, like, okay, I guess this is, again, where it all comes up to headcanon because it's a role-playing game. I don't think that my Warrior of Light gave in as in, like, oh yeah, you would let me go, and things, I don't think my Warrior of Light saw this as, this fight doesn't need to happen. I'm just going to do it because I'm tired of you. I saw it as, if I let you go, you're going to cause trouble later down the line. You've hurt too many people that I care about. You've done too many terrible things. Let's get this over with so I don't have to deal with you ever again. Like, so to me, that isn't my Warrior of Light giving in and being like, yeah, I do want this fight. It's him going, this fight has to happen because I can't trust you to ever let me go. Like, and that's where, I guess, again, it comes down to, like, the interpretation of what is happening with your Warrior of Light. Because I did not interpret the choice that I chose at all as, I could leave here if I wanted to and not have to deal with you ever again. It was, you might let me go now, but, like, you're going to cause trouble for me in the future and you're going to hurt the people that I care about, so I need to just end this.
Yeah. I think that's a fair interpretation. I think for Xenos' character, for the rating they gave to him, and obviously, to an extent, because his entire characterization is about you, his characterization can be, interpreted differently. But I think, like, his character arc is getting to that point of helping you rather than rather than trying to only get what he wants, he's going to help you to get what he wants. Yes,
yeah.
exactly. But that's like, I don't even know how to put this. Like, he gets to that point finally at the end when he goes, I'm going to do this in hope that you do it. Not like I want to fight you because you want to. He doesn't want to force you to fight.
Yeah, I guess I just don't ever see a scenario where like he would have stopped.
I very much think he was being absolutely truthful. That was his entire character arc, was getting to that point. Like, Alize's whole speech to him is about that. Yeah.
And like, hey,
like how
you know
you'll
what?
never get what you want if you don't empathize and help with other people.
Maybe he'll come back and I'll get proven wrong.
Whoa, please God, but also don't.
But I think it would ruin one of the best moments in all of Final Fantasy if they brought him back. But
yeah, like it's so difficult because I would give anything. I would give my literal arm if Xenos came back. I would do it. Mm-hmm. If they told me if you chop your arm off right now, Xenos will come back into the plot, I would chop my arm off.
Okay,
but
we gotta
no,
like a therapist or something.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Xenos is my comfort character, Sean.
Yeah. Okay. But I think that's what's awesome about Xenos as well, is that you and I both think he's one of the greatest characters ever written, but have completely different interpretations of like the ending of that character. And so yeah, I don't know. And that's the end of Endwalker. I really loved it.
Yeah, it's the best Final Fantasy story.
I think so too. I think if I was rating them individually, Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker would be the best Final Fantasy game ever
by
made.
far.
Like
probably
by
my favorite video game story ever. Probably.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Of course, it's hard to. Even if we are counting them separately,
but it's hard because
it's hard
to do that.
So it's like saying Avengers. You know, yeah, obviously I don't think it is, but Avengers Endgame is the best ever as a single film.
Yeah,
but
because it relies so much on
other films.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
But it's not the end though. There's still more to be done.
Yeah, let's talk about the patch MSQ. I hear people don't like this.
Yes, people do. People are not huge on the patch MSQ. Probably the lowest people have been on the MSQ since like post Stormblood.
I think it's some of my favorite patch MSQ. Like, this feels like the right spot for this to happen. Like we talked about earlier about like, hey, you know, I didn't think that Stormblood was the right spot to step back. I think this is the perfect spot to step back for me. I've really enjoyed all the dungeons. I've really enjoyed the trials. I've really enjoyed the storyline. Zero is one of my new favorite characters of all time.
Yeah, I think a lot of this has to do with, I was talking to someone, I can't remember who, but about that specifically, and they didn't like Zero that much. And I thought about what I would think of the current plot if I didn't like Zero. I went, maybe I can see it to an extent. I love Zero. She's quickly become one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And so I think that carries it to an extent.
And I think this does a really good job of having a way lower stakes adventure and like it feeling a bit more slice of lifey while still also being super steeped in lore. Yeah. Like, holy shit. It's like, it's all about the Void and about the 13th.
Also, I'd like to state, FF4 is one of my least favorite ones, so I'm not being biased in any way.
Yeah. And I've never played it.
Yeah, because man, this is like everything is, hey, FF4. 4. All the bosses are 4 characters. Every single one of them.
And the music is the boss theme, which is one of the best pieces of music. Oh, by the way, all the Endwalker music, I mean, all the Final Fantasy XIV music, but all the Endwalker music.
Yeah, Endwalker is the best.
Soken is quickly becoming one of my favorite composers of all time. Up there with Shimomura for me.
One of the best.
Now here's the thing. You and I disagree pretty heavily.
Oh, we do?
Well, about where it's going to go in the ending.
Ah, okay.
Because we've talked about this.
I don't remember this, but okay, go ahead.
Where I was like, oh, this is leading up to learning how to make a portal between the worlds.
Yeah, no.
And you were like, no way. And
no,
I was like,
it's too early.
But like, that's all that they've been doing. But here's the thing. I feel like it's way too late. Like, they should have done this forever ago, because Shadowbringers as a expansion is the most worthless expansion because they can't use any of it. It can't matter for anything. Except for the Ascian stuff at the end, none of Shadowbringers can ever matter because you're the only person that can go there.
I think Shadowbringers has mattered more than Heavensward.
At the end, maybe.
In general.
I don't know. I mean, like, none of those characters matter. What were their names? I don't remember any of them. Like, they can't show up again. None of them can show up ever again because we can't do anything with them because we're the only people that can go there. Like, and by characters, I mean, like, the side characters. Not, like, Reen. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
even
at the same time, I don't think any, like, past their expansion, you have to be a certain level of main character to ever be relevant ever again.
I guess, but, like, they can't ever touch on this stuff again. Because...
Well, they will at some point. I just
feel
don't
like
think it's
now is the time.
But now is not the time, because if Dawn Trail hadn't been announced, but what we're doing after this has nothing to do with that. And
I think that's why now is the time.
Are still here. Which means if Y'shtola and Thancred are still on the source, that means we did not unlock a portal to the first.
But I think that you could easily I could just as easily also make the argument that the reason that they're there is because Reen and that weird wolf guy, bear guy, are going to be in Dawn Trail, and they're on the first. Or they're on the first. Sorry, they're on the source.
I think that'd be great. I don't think so though. I want to so bad because I love Reen, and I assume Guy would be there, and I like the Hrothgar.
I don't know about that.
The name of.
I don't know about Guy being there, because then it's like.
See, Guy at this point is too important to Reen. If you ever bring Reen in, if you bring Reen in permanently, you have to have Gaia. You can bring Reen in what they did for Endwalker for 5 minutes, and then you can bring her in what I assume they're going to do for 6.5 and bring her in for 5 minutes. But if you bring her in permanently, she's not going to leave Gaia.
I think I think you're right, but I'm worried that they're going to be like, but people might not have done those raids.
Yeah, but at a certain point they stop caring.
I hope so.
Because like even they even stop caring with certain main characters to an extent of like they're just gonna reference it. If you get it, you don't. Whatever. Like
I don't know.
You know how many times they reference? Actually, no, you don't know how many times they reference coils. Over and over and over again, all the time. Alize as a character, like
he's from Coils, yeah.
Yeah, she's just from Coils, and also like she talks about it all the time. When actually, no, I can't spoil Coils for you, so I won't do that. But there's a big thing in Endwalker that is there to reference Coils.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, back on topic. I just think that like they opened a portal in this one, like they figured out how to do it very specifically for the 13th, but they do it. They open a new portal in 6.4 in Zodiark's cage. So like I feel like this is like, to me that's what we're building up to. Like so I don't see like I feel like there's no resolution if they don't do it.
But there is the resolution of it's moving forward. They are further closer to unlocking that portal, which we will get to eventually in
I feel like that's not enough.
9.0.
I feel like that's not enough for a 6.5.
Well, no, for 6.5, we're going to defeat Zeromus. That's going to be the focus of it.
I still also do not think that is enough of a resolution for like.
Okay, the 6.5 is going to be the resolution to Zeromus.
6.55, I should say, I guess.
No, 6.55 is going to be Dawn Trail. I think the current plot line is done.
And they're just going to set up they're going to set up Dawn Trail in 0.55.
Absolutely. I think I would put all my money on the Void plotline is done by the end of 6.5. I think it'll probably be longer than the average 0.5 patch because of that.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I also part of me is like, I feel like they're smart enough that I feel like they're good enough writers that this is probably going to be bigger than we think it is in terms of like connecting to Dawn Trail. They'll find some way to connect all of this in a way. Yeah,
there's like a possibility of like, I don't know. It's hard to tell because obviously like the current patches have different lead writers than Dawn Trail. So I don't know how much they were talking, how much they're leading into. That's why I'm worried Zero's not going to be in it.
I think at this point they know to have a good connective tissue. Like it's been what they've been doing this whole time. I doubt they would change it now.
Well, you say that hopefully, but at the same time we've had the same lead writer since 4.4.
Yeah, but I feel like I feel like even before then they've done a good job of keeping everything pretty much consistently rolling. Like I feel like that's kind of been the idea of A Realm Reborn and what makes, or not A Realm Reborn, but Final Fantasy XIV as a whole, and what makes it so good is that the story matters.
Yeah. Well, see, there's also like the
And
fact that
continues
this
upon itself.
from like their perspective, and they talked about how like the patches are their own arc.
Mhm.
Like they are not lead into Dawn Trail, they are not follow up to Endwalker. This is its own individual arc. So I don't know how closed off that's going to be, because like the jump between 5.3 or a 0.3 patch and a 0.4 patch is huge and feels like an entirely different story. So I don't know if it's going to be that much of an extent or not.
I think it'll be more closed off than normal, but I still think they're going to find some way to make this matter to the overall world beyond just.
See, I think it'll matter. It just will matter to certain side characters, and it'll matter. Eventually, we'll unlock that.
Y'shtola,
if you do the Shadowbringers role quest, it'll matter to certain characters involved in that.
Yeah.
And like I think it will be and we will get back to this next time when it's relevant for us to go to a different shard.
I would hope that it's not like that. You might be right. Like I think I'm more coming out of a place of I would find that disappointing and not.
I think
enough.
we are in setup time. The next expansion or two, we're doing more setup than payoff.
I agree, but I think that at the same time,
think of how long it took the Ascians to pay off.
Hold on. But my hope isn't that like. Okay, I understand that we're in setup time to set up new stuff to pay off way later, but I feel like there is stuff that has been set up already that still needs to pay off, and that is the stuff that I hope we're not waiting super long time for. Like, the portal to the first, from my perspective of this, like you say it's too early, I say it's too late. Like, this is something that needs to happen. Like, we're not in setup time for this, wherein we have passed the setup time. If this does not become relevant soon, we're in trouble.
The thing is, though, like, a portal to the first specifically is never going to happen. Because it might happen as well as a portal to some other shard, but it's never going to happen on its own because it doesn't matter.
See, I think it's totally the opposite. Like, I don't know. Yeah, we're not going to come to an agreement on this. We totally disagree on. I think, like, they're way past where this should have been a thing. Because, again, it makes me feel like I never think about anything from Shadowbringers outside of Emmett Selk. Because it doesn't matter. It happened, and now nobody can ever interact with it again because it's its own little closed-off thing. Whereas, when a Manelian showed up again. That's crazy. That's a dude that I have to remember, because who knows when they're going to bring him back. I know they're never going to fucking bring back any of the people from Shadowbringers because they can't. Like, and that's why I think that they need to bridge it. Because otherwise,
they will
to me,
at some
it's
point,
just...
But I doubt it will be when... I doubt it will be when we're immediately going to go, okay, bye, I don't care. Like, if they open a portal now, then we're going to go, okay, we're going to go to the other side of the planet and not care about that. We're just going to drop that plot line and not care about
I also think that that's like assuming that Dawn Trail has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which is like, what we know about Dawn Trail is that we go to a new place.
Yep. We know why we go there.
Well, yes, but we have no, like, come on, it's not going to be a summer vacation. It'll be a summer vacation for like maybe 50 quests, and then the other 50 will be something different. And so that's why I am like, I think probably we'll get an idea of that, and it probably is related to this. But
we'll find out next month.
Okay, let's hit the last couple things.
Yes.
Alliance raids, I'm really enjoying them. I know you said you're not as much.
I am iffy on them. I don't care about these characters outside of Graha. They have yet to really endear me to them.
I like the 12.
We'll see. I don't really care about the 12 right now. It's not, I don't dislike it. It's just kind of been, it's fine. Which, I mean, is strong, much better, much improved from Shadowbringers.
Oh, I think, for me, this is the best Alliance raid since Crystal Tower.
Yeah,
this is the most I've cared.
I'm a very big Evilise
Yeah.
Not the game Evilise, but a big fan of. I was specifically the lore of setting up an entire country in the world of 14.
Yeah. For me, this is the best Alliance raid since Crystal Tower, and I'm enjoying it the most since Crystal Tower, and I'm really interested in the 12 and like whatever is going to happen there.
I hope there is good payoff, because as of now, they have not, like, I still don't know where this
is
is
long
going.
in the tooth. It is long in the tooth.
Like,
it's
kind of just like, okay, what are we doing here? What is the mystery?
It's long in the tooth, but I feel like all the Alliance raids are long in the tooth. I haven't felt like I've enjoyed an Alliance raid since fucking Crystal Tower. I guess the Void one I enjoyed kind of more, but it still felt like it dragged.
I guess like there was always a through line to follow in all of them of we got to stop this thing or figure out X thing or I don't know, go to place. Whereas this one's just kind of we gotta learn about these people, I guess.
I think it's cool.
It's fine. Like again, I think it's a fun time, and that's about it.
But I think the shining part of the post patches is Pandemonium.
Yeah,
because Pandemonium might be my favorite normal raid series.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've done all of it. Loved that story so much. Loved the Elidibus twist. Really got me.
I was surprised you thought it was a twist.
When he says my name is Elidibus.
Well, there's also the post credits of Endwalker where he speaks, and you can hear Elidibus's voice and see that it's Themis. He did speak in the post credits
voice. I know he said something, but I didn't. Are you sure that was his voice?
Yes, because it's MSQ. Still.
Oh.
Well, maybe it's not voice.
I don't remember it being voice.
I don't know. I guess I immediately looked at him and went, "You're. That's it."
Yeah, no, I didn't think it was also because he's so young. I was like, "That's not Elidibus." Like,
nah, that was right to me, and also long white hair, and I went, "Oh, Warrior of Light."
Oh, like, okay, yeah, fair enough. I can see how you would have gotten it. I didn't get it, so also, it was definitely a twist for me.
I think there was also like this is a character, and there's only one other person it could be. Like it was immediate narrowing it down. Unless that is La Habrea, it's Elidibus.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking too hard about it, so I was pretty caught off guard when they said Elidibus.
That quest line is so good.
It's incredible.
The actual raids are incredible. The music, the story.
It's nice to finally get some characterization for La Habrea.
Mm-hmm. And I think they end it really well.
Yeah.
Of just going, we're not going to agree. Let's move on, and you will do your thing, and you will do mine, and eventually we'll sort it out. And they did. Yeah. And then by I sorted out, I mean, remember that La Habrea is killed by Thornton.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. And then I can't tell you how happy I was that they voiced Elidibus's final scene.
Yeah, no, that was great. I was really happy that they voiced that.
I think Elidibus has the best VA in the entire game. Mm-hmm. And like, oh, that's probably one of my favorite scenes. And then they also there is like people don't talk about it much, but there is setup for future stuff in Pandemonium. Like on top of the obvious being the like Ultima Rock that is just hanging out with what's his name.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that Azem knew we were going to be there at that time exactly.
Yeah.
And they do not follow up on that in any way, which means somehow, some way, we're probably going to meet Azem again. Mm-hmm. Like they have to know that at some point. Which means more time travel. The guarantee. You can't do that. It's either there are two options. Option 1, time travel. 2, you can't, like, it's a open plot line that will never be resolved.
I think the problem with showing Azem is that I guess unless they want to put the resources into making 2 different Azems.
See, I think if they ever show Azem, it'll just be generic I don't. The thing is, they've like we've seen Artbert, and that is to an extent they could do something like that, or we could just see like in Amarot, one of them.
Haven't they already said he or she for Azem, depending on the?
Oh, yes, you're right. You are right. Actually, you are right. They do gender based on you. I don't know. It's possible. They could also just have your face
It'd be really
funny.
Great. It'd be really great.
I don't know if we'll ever even see, but somehow Azem has to learn we will be at that spot at the exact time in the future. And then...
I mean, it could always...
somehow, some way, Azem from way back then has to learn about this in some capacity.
Yeah.
It's very open to how that happens, but it has to happen, or it's just a loose plot thread that'll never be resolved.
Yeah.
And then there's also the very end of the raid when Elidibus is dying. At the end of his speech, he's like, "But if this star continues on its path, ... dies."
Yeah.
We'll see about all that.
Yeah.
But
go on.
No, you go.
I was gonna say for now, like I think we've talked pretty extensively about what we think about 6.5 in our just discussions of other stuff. I think we've kind of brought up like
I do want to bring up one thing though.
Okay.
Which is I am 100% certain even that the original Golbez, because the current Golbez is Durante. Yeah. The original Golbez is your shard from the 13th.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah.
Because they are silent in a voiced cutscene and you see from their POV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
absolutely.
I also kind of really, really like the idea of the shards we know about are Ardbert and Golbez from Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah. No, I'm down with that.
Yeah, and just Durante is just really cool. I like him as an antagonist. I also like that he looks like Golbez from the FF4 The After Years.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a side point. I do think we're going to meet more shards. Is just a general expectation I have. Because they've set it up as a power up. We consume them, we get power.
Yeah, we have to go around killing our other selves.
Whoa.
I would say I probably feel good to end this here and then talk more about. Yeah, I want to come back and talk about.
We got to talk about the live letter and 6.5 and all that.
Well, when is that?
Well, okay, so 6.5 should be the first week of October, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
If people have done the math right. Let me look when the next Fan Fest is going to be, because that'll be when the next big drop is.
I think it's in October, isn't it? I think towards the end. Yeah,
yes,
Europe is October.
Yeah, it'll so that's where their website is not. There we go. It's October 21st and 22nd.
So I would probably say I'd like to come back on after 6.5 is dropped and after the FanFest.
Definitely. Those it's not worth doing both of them. We should do them as one thing.
Yeah, so I think after FanFest come back on, talk about, and I think that's when we can really dive into Dawn Trail because we'll know more information as well.
Yeah, we'll have the full trailer, all that. We'll have 6.5 just in general to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And then FanFest, the final FanFest in January, early January, and then 6.55 will be in late January.
Yeah.
So it's probably worth to do those as one
together
thing.
As well.
And then at some point after that, we can do our big predictions episode for Dawn Trail.
Yeah. I'm very excited, and I'm very happy that I got the job.
Yes.
I will be looking for the. It
was not voluntary. You were going to do this.
Yeah. I'm very glad. I'm looking for the payment, to come through. For my correspondent.
Talk to Tyler about that.
Okay. Yeah, he did negotiate my contract, so so that's good. And I want to thank you for having me, Aggro.
Thank you for talking about Final Fantasy XIV with me. God, no one else will. Even my friends who play 14 haven't done the patches yet, so I can't talk to them about it.
Yeah.
Well, yes, thank you for being on for this discussion.
Yes.
That I'd like to do. So we will see you next time. I mean, if you ever want to, like, when the next live letter is at at Tokyo Game Show. And if you ever, if there's enough to talk about, if we get on to record for 10, 20 minutes to talk about the live letter,
and
throw it in the news segment of the next episode, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But okay.
I think it just depends on how much news and stuff comes out.
Yeah, it really depends a lot. Like I'm very curious to see how much is in this one.
Yeah.
We'll see. I will say at FanFest they got to fight a trial. Like that you could go up and fight a trial. And that's not Zeramus.
Yeah, no, yeah.
The thing they fought is not Zeramus, which means we're getting a extra trial this expansion.
Which is pretty crazy.
Just where are they going to throw it in? Is it going to be Hildebrand?
Yeah.
Is 6.55 going to get its own trial? I don't know. I mean, we haven't. The only exception to the because in every expansion there are 3 trials in the main release, and then a trial in 0.2, 3, 4, and 5. The only exception to this is other than ARR, the only exception to this for expansions is the Monster Hunter crossover. So it's hard to count that. So this is a interesting. I figured it would be part of the 10th anniversary,
but
quest,
no.
So
I think we'll
have to see. I think we'll probably find out next live letter.
Yeah, and I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.